Hey guys, FernFeather here, back at it again with another video. Haha, okay. But, seriously, oh, I'm sorry, friend. No. Alright, sorry, that's alright. But anyway, what I'm trying to do here is I want to make a video to explain some of the basics of wall usage with Mad Eyes, and that's mostly because I've noticed from looking at comments on my YouTube channel and hearing people talk in Discord that some people just don't understand, like, the basics of him. And this is not like an in-depth guide, but there's a lot of stuff about Mad Eyes that is just like, you know, you need to understand in order to use him, and it may seem simple to people who've used him a little bit, but when you're first coming into the game and you're first picking them up, this stuff can be pretty complicated. So I just want to go in, try to go over those basics. Again, this is not like an in-depth guide or anything, it's more of a basic. So, you know, you're coming in dry, you have no idea how to use Mad Eyes, you just want to know, how do I use the wall, like stuff like that. I got you, don't worry about it, here we go. So we're going in, and sadly I have not been able to play a lot of Mad Eyes recently because I've been focusing on Survivor. Last season I was Manticore, this season I've not been hunting like almost at all, but I still keep up with Mad Eyes and I'm very familiar with this meta. So looking over the things here, what should I start with? Okay, well, oh yeah, I have all this stuff filled out, by the way, I'm just bragging. Alright, so I think we should start off with the console because that's the most basic part. So, you know, say if you've been living under a rock, you might not know this, Mad Eye has a console. You know, kind of how he builds the wall.
Yo, I'm shook! I'm shook!
He can use it, and it has an energy bar, and whenever that energy bar is depleted, he can't use it. He needs that energy to draw the walls. Survivors can also go in these consoles, they can use the energy, they can waste it so that you can't use it. They can also hit themselves with walls, which doesn't, like, that seems stupid, but here's the thing. Late game, once you have full presence, sometimes what they do, like smart survivors at like higher tiers, will hit themselves with the wall if they already have a 0.5 damage, so that way they are able to heal themselves back to normal. I've seen that a few times, it's actually pretty smart. So yeah, just keep in mind that everyone can use the wall. But moving over to the control monitor, well, there's not really much to say about it. There's this little thing that flies above him that lets him see the entire map, but basically what this is all saying is he can hit you from anywhere using the consoles. Wherever there's a console located, he can hit from that area with the energy from that specific console. And again, I'm going into custom, so I'm going to give you a little better look at this. But pretty much that's all you really need to know. The fences, though, again, I mentioned how the 0.5 damage is with the fences, and sometimes survivors will try to be tricky with that and heal themselves. They only do it when they have full presence, though, because if they don't, then they're feeding your presence. Also, you can vault the walls and they can vault the walls. When survivors vault the walls, they receive a full damage. Not 0.5, they receive a full impact of damage. Also, you can trap survivors with these walls, which is so nice. These walls are pretty easy to dodge, I'm going to be honest, which is why you have to rely on trapping and smart placement with them. And also, once you get, it's not called overdrive, I call it overdrive. You'll see in a second once I look at it. Once you get that, you're able to put up these walls at a faster speed and be more efficient with them. Just don't be, like, you know, slow. Use the walls to your best ability and you're going to be fine. For your presence, you get your portable console at the first level, and this is so helpful. I love it so much. Whenever you're in a chase, this thing can save your life so many times. It just is so good at closing off areas you don't want survivors to go. Because the normal console is great, but it's not useful in a scenario where you need to be moving, and this is where the portable console comes in play. You can be anywhere and access any of the consoles, so that's very nice. Then we have the Overclock. Alright, so Overclock is, I call it Overdrive, I know, it's called Overclock, whatever. Overdrive sounds, it's a better name objectively, but this basically makes your walls go up faster, and that is so helpful when you're trying to get people down. Also, what it will do negatively is when you access Overdrive, it's going to make you regain energy slower. So you put up a bunch of walls and it's going to take a longer time for you to get back that energy. And also it changes your icon from yellow to green. Survivors will know you have Overdrive because they will see a square above them that's going to be green. So just keep in mind, they know what you're using. Now I want to go to, so for their trait, use Blink. I use Blink, at least, because he's pretty bad at chasing. so he wants to have things that help him within his chase. That's the weak area of Mad Eye's, his early chase. He has very good base stats, don't get me wrong, but the issue is, you know, a base stat's only as good as his ability. That's like Bloody Queen is so powerful because she has good base stats, and her ability helps her in that chase. Mad Eye's ability doesn't really help him that much, so you gotta do what you can do, you know? Is it persona time? I think it's persona time. Now, I'm looking at the actual persona I use. Now, again, this is just what I use, and I base this off of what I'm seeing like in Asia and Chinese builds, so this is not just me. So, first of all, a lot of people think that we go up because we want confined space. No, we want destructiveness. Confined space is more map specific. Mad Eye's is bad at the chase. He needs that full pallet breaking to make him powerful. He already has a fast pallet breaking speed. This just makes him even more Gucci, strong. It's beautiful. Berserker is also very nice because the thing is, you know what? He can use walls to prevent saves, but sometimes he's not fast enough, and that Berserker can help him try to get that hit before they get the save. Also, what Berserker can do for you is if you put up that wall at the right time, the survivor can't save. Alright, so you hit them, and then with Berserker, you're able to hit them again sometimes before they're able to make that save. It gives you that extra wiggle room, which is so helpful, at least in my opinion. So, got Berserker, destructiveness, and there's a few other parts you want. Now, these two aren't important, although if we go over here, Hunter's Instinct is actually very underrated, and we can see this in a lot of Asia and Chinese builds. It's so useful because early game you try to get that 0.5 damage for about 10 seconds on a console, and then after you either get that damage or don't get that damage, this lets you go to the survivors you see. So you go on the console, if there's a mercenary and a mechanic, you want to spot them, you know? You want to see where they are. You find where that mechanic is, this helps you get to them faster. So this is very useful on Mad Eye's, and it's super underrated in my opinion. It deserves better. Especially with the 0.5 damage, this works very nicely for Mad Eye's. Now I'm going to slide on over to Hunt, which is extremely popular in a lot of builds, not just Mad Eye builds, and it's so useful. It gives you a 10% speed boost after 8 seconds, if you go full into it, of not breaking anything or touching anything. Just don't touch anything, you know? And what's important about this though is you have to remember you have it. So if you think, oh, I need to break this pallet to get to that survivor, but you have like 1 second left on Hunt, depending on where you are, it may be better just to wait for Hunt to activate, because you get that speed boost and it can help you a lot. But touching it, like hitting anything, breaking a pallet, will get rid of it. So remember that. Okay, so those are the main important things. Yeah, Deer Hunt is also useful, but like you kind of have to get that to get Tinnitus anyway, and you need Tinnitus. Everything else is, in my opinion, not extremely necessary. I just put my points into it because it's personal stuff I like. And again, if you're playing Mad Eye's, you can play different builds. Like, there's no one set build. If you don't play this way, you're gonna lose. So that's that. Now I'm gonna try to hop into a custom. I'll try to cut. Oh yeah. First, if you don't have the Confined Dean skin, you're not a real Mad Eye's main boy. Now, this isn't like a guide, but I do want to explain some of the good and bad maps while they have the opportunity. Everyone loves Arms Factory. It's a great map for him. Personally, I don't like it. That's just my personal opinion, but it is a great map. Red Church is my second favorite map behind Moonlit River Park. I love Red Church. It has so many areas where ciphers overlap, and it has a lot of places where you can trap. Also, Sacred Heart Hospital is one of my top as well, because it also has so many nice places where you can trap. The only issue is the lower story can be pretty tricky to hit sometimes, but if you're able to get the survivors out of the lower story, then this is one of the best maps, probably my third favorite map. Lakes. Never play here. If you play here as Mad Eye's, you are wrong. You are bad. Bad, 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 bad. Let me explain. I like to link people a bunch of top Asia and Chinese Mad Eye's gameplay to give them an understanding of Mad Eye's. You know what's a common trend in almost every single one of those gameplays? There's not a single one, at least that I've seen, one, but in Lakeside. Okay, I've seen 2. One of them was from the first week he came out, and it was from the #1 Mad Eye then. And another one was from recently, but he lost terribly. And I saw a few others from NAEU, but that's besides the point. You can play there, but I would highly suggest you don't. I have not played on that map in months. The reason is because everything is cut. You can't see. There are trees. There's like, imagine a map with a blind spot, but then that's the entire map. That's like half of the map. You can't see the lower story of the boat. The back boat, by the back of the map, you can't see pretty much anything. You can't see inside that little shack. Also, the trees everywhere cover up pretty much everything. It's evil. I hate this map so much. I remember Thunder or Tactical Walls, when he used to play here, he would never play Mad Eyes on this map. He was #1 Mad Eye for a very long time. A lot of top Mad Eyes will refuse to play him on this map. It's just because some characters are not good on some maps objectively. That's just how it is. I ranted. Moving on. Conversely, my favorite map is Moonlit River Park, and a lot of it's because almost every cipher, not all of them, but almost all of them are overlapped with multiple consoles, and Mad Eyes counters the entire roller coaster, because here's the thing, you can go on your console and you can hit survivors before they're able to get off the roller coaster, because like the roller coaster will stop and then there's like a small animation before, like there's a small second before they're able to get up. You can place the wall while the coaster is stopping and you can hit them and it counters them hard, and usually if you do that you're also able to trap them on the top floor pretty easily. So he's a hard counter to using that roller coaster, which is so nice. Mad Eyes is pretty strong in Asylum. I don't really play much there because, you know, I play rank most of the time. Leo's Memory, Mad Eyes is OP on the top story because he can put up walls and trap you. Watch my Four-Eyed Chicken crossover type video, because there's a beautiful example in there where he's able to trap survivors on that top floor. He's pretty good here. I don't like this map in general, but I think Mad Eyes is better here. I don't play Ever Sleeping Town, because again, I play rank pretty much, so I mean, I've been there like 5 times. Okay, so now I probably, by the power of editing, have been able to bring you into this little custom match. Looking around, we're able to see the consoles. They shockingly spawn in the same place every single time. Who would have thunk? So you move around and you're able to click that little square, boop, and then you're able to see the map. And then moving around, you can click one of the yellow squares, boop, and then you're able to see the smaller areas. So you back out, back in. Oh, pardon me, I just want to bother him real fast. Wait, I'm gonna hit him. Okay, I'm satisfied now. Alright, so yeah. So you click in with the square and you click out with the X. Pretty simple. You're also able to see every single cipher on the map with those little white symbols. So you click on this area, see right here, you can see that little cipher. So you're able to know pretty much where everything spawns instantly, and it gives you a really good cue of what's happening. Now I want you to look around and see these little circles. You see this yellow circle surrounding me? Yeah, that one right there? Yeah. So that actually corresponds to the map circles. You see those circles surrounding those yellow squares? That's supposed to be the area where you're able to hit, but if you click this area and you look around, hi Gardener. By the way, yes, if you're wondering, I could hear her next to me the whole time, but I just didn't really care. I just wanted to bother her now. But yeah, you can hear when you're with Mad Eyes. So you see that circle? It circles all around you. You can actually hit outside of it. So if I can, boop. Yeah, so what that means is every single circle on this map right here actually extends a significant amount past its barrier. See, that's so helpful because that means there's a lot of hits that you can get that doesn't look like you can. So over here, there's a cipher that spawns right here a lot of the time, okay? So say that someone's decoding on this, little console. How am I supposed to be able to hit them? Well, even though this map doesn't show that you can do it, what you can do is hit from an area that looks like it wouldn't hit, but seems kinda close to that zone. This cipher, for instance, has a yellow border right here that doesn't interact with the cipher, but see, boop, if the cipher were there, I'm able to hit it. So that is so helpful, just keep that in mind. I also wanted to show an example of this on another map where see, the yellow outline's there, but you can also hit the console from over here and vice versa. From this console, you can hit where the cipher is in the shed. Again, over here, looking around, oh, I see a little, wait, oh, there, she's still at the, I could hear her, but I wasn't sure if that path was going somewhere. Yeah, just remember, by the way, Mad Eyes can hear you when you're on the console. He's not deaf. If you're, next to him, I can hear you decoding. I'm just messing around, I'm just trying to get presents right now. Okay, so back to the thing on this console. Now when you're looking at buildings, you can see it kind of obstructs your view in some places. Now you can draw a line inside of here, but again, your view is still kind of covered up, and a lot of buildings will do this. You can move the camera, mess it around a bit, like this, so you can try to see where they are, but again, it can be a bit hard to manipulate sometimes. Discussing buildings, I also wanted to mention here that there's a console under here that you can hit with a different cipher at the top floor of this map. So there's like a lot of buildings where you can utilize cipher tricks to be able to get hit. So say you know there's a chair that's under this area, and say I'm trying to guard that chair and protect it, but the issue is there's that big whole second platform above me. Now what do I do? Well, if you start a wall under, like at the bottom floor, like that, you're able to put a wall at the lower story, but you have to start, when you draw that line with your finger, you have to start on the lower story. You have to put your finger where the lower story is, because walls can only be done at one elevation. You see how that wall's slightly hovering there? I'm going to go a little bit more in depth in that right here. So I mentioned this in one of my older Mad Eyes videos, but you see, stairs can be pretty annoying with Mad Eyes if you don't use it right. So you can put a wall, see, through the window, which is super helpful when you're playing Mad Eyes. Walls through the windows will always give you a good hit. Not always, but usually. But see those stairs there? If you draw the line before on the elevation below that stair, it will not go through the window. See? It will start on that elevation and will not continue through that elevation. So you got to be really careful with where you're doing your walls, which means you have to, wherever you start that wall is what elevation it's going to be at. So if I put that wall starting around here, it's going to be at the lower story. But if I were to draw a line up here, it's going to be at the higher story. I don't have the energy to do that right now, but just know that's how it works. Another thing I want to talk about is how the portable console actually uses more energy than the stationary console. So if I go on the stationary console and draw a wall, you see it uses a little bit of energy, but the portable console uses up more energy per section of wall. Now I was gonna show you a comparison, but apparently I done goofed and I used the stationary console twice, and I'm too lazy to go get more footage because then I have to process it into my computer from my drive, and that actually takes like a few hours, and then I have to download it on my computer, which takes a few more hours because my computer's slow. And I'm not to get into this, but that would be like a whole extra day of editing, and I'm like, I'm sorry fam. So yeah, just trust me. I'm a reliable person, really. Now, I said I wasn't going to do map-specific stuff, but I want you to know, if you ever draw a wall on this bridge, boop, yeah, it only lasts a second. That's fun. It's for both of the bridges that look like that. Like, for the two identical bridges, it'll do that. Just, yeah. The bane of existence for every single Mad Eye player in the world are blind spots. There's spots where you're blind. Who would have thunk? But basically, if I can move this little darn camera over here, you see this? You see that? I'm sad. I hate this. But some maps are better than others. This map has the one really annoying blind spot by the exit gate, and it also, this is not a blind spot per se, but I will mention you can sometimes hit down here, but it's, yeah, good luck. So I kind of messed this up with my finger, but if you're able to put a wall like right at the bottom of that base where I'm trying, yeah, right there, then that wall is able to prevent a save from the dungeon. Now keep in mind, dungeon wall times it is decreased, but it will give you enough time to be able to hit twice with full Berserker. So keep that in mind if you're ever putting someone in the dungeon, and you also have to be in an area where your wall will cover. So that means, like, you know, you're not being hidden by a roof. So Mad Eye's base attack has a pretty good range to it, but it aims a bit more to the left, see? So that means if someone's at your right, it's going to be a bit harder to hit them depending where they are. He can hit straight in front of him, it does go straight in front of him, but if you turn to the left before you hit, consider if they're in your range, then you may have a better opportunity of hitting the survivor, just depending on where they are. Now here you can see his long hit. Whoop. See, that's pretty good. So his long hit is nice, but don't rely on it all the time, because the issue is it's predictable. So survivors can see it. It's a pretty big thing. So it's really good for baiting out Perfume or an Owl, because they see it and they're like, oh, I need to, you know, use my stun or something like that. But it's pretty easy to dodge. The nice thing is you can 360 with this. You can aim in one direction and then go right behind you. Something you gotta remember is that you and survivors can both vault walls. So if you put up a wall, a survivor can vault over it, it will get rid of the wall, and then they're able to go through, but they will receive a full stock of damage. So not 0.5, but like a full hit of damage. You can also go through a wall, and if you can see me put up this little thing right here, there's also a sneaky little trick you can do with it. And it all stems from the fact that Mad Eye is thick.
Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy. Damn.
Okay, so whenever he vaults a wall, his thickness is about the same thickness of a wall, which means that he vaults it, survivors cannot escape through that area. So that means he can vault, he can hit with his weapon if he doesn't move, and survivors can't escape. So I'm going to show a little example of that right here. See, I vault over that wall, and the doctor's still trapped. Now, to be fair, this is a bot, and apparently she is catatonic because she's not moving. But as you see, as I stood there, I would have been able to trap her and attack her if she had moved. So that's just a helpful little tip to know. Also, sometimes you can put up a wall, and then you can body block it with your body, and then go on your portable console, draw a wall behind you, so that way once you move, the survivor's still trapped, and then you can advance forward to hit down the survivor. Knowing times is very important when you're trying to play as Mad Eyes because most good survivors will know the time. So I know these are bots, but real survivors are going to be really good at dodging walls because they know the exact interval between when you can put walls up and down. And I'm going to show you that around here. So if I put up a wall, 1 potato, 2 potato, about 2 seconds, not exactly, I'd say 2.5, 1 second. 1 potato, 2 potato, yeah, it's that 1 potato, 2 potato, 1 potato, 2 potato, That is supposed to be like a half. So I say about 2.5 seconds per normal wall. And also, look at the bottom when I draw the walls. The game won't let you draw a wall until this thing goes away. Now I have overdrive and I'm going to try to draw a wall with that. It's a little lightning bolt. I tap it and... Boop. 1 potato, 2 potato. About 2 seconds. You get rid of like 1 potato, 2. I say you get rid of about half a second, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I promise you when you're using it in game, it is very useful. And who would have thunk, I took the liberty of making y'all a little chart here with the times. I tried to time it myself using a stopwatch playing in the game, and then I double checked with 4-Eyed Chicken in his video, which I'm going to link you to in the description below, because he does a Mad Eye guide as well, which is very, very helpful. And also it goes over like more in depth on certain chairs and tactics, so that's why I'm not going to be covering that, because he does a really good job at that, so make sure you check it out. Another thing to note is that these times are only when the things are active. So what I mean is, it's only going to be 5 seconds near a chair when someone's in the chair, it's only going to be 18 seconds at a cipher when the cipher is not completed, such as that. Whenever they're not active, it's not going to be that long. The exit gate, for instance, has a normal time until the exit gate opens. So that's something which is important to remember. Now, the exit gate is probably one of the more important times here, because what you can do is as soon as the ciphers are done, you can go on your little console, and assuming there's been no survivor which was able to get rid of the energy by the gates, which is very annoying if that has been the case, you're able to put up a wall, and then it's going to last for, again, around the time limit, 7 to 8-ish seconds, so that's going to be good. So what you want after that is to start walking, and then about 6 seconds in, you want to go back on your console, see what I'm doing here, I'm walking, go back on the console, the wall's still there, but then it goes down, you put up another wall. So you just want to keep doing that and then make your way over to the gate like I'm doing in this video right now.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
So that way, the survivors don't have a chance to open the gate. Now, if there's 2 survivors over there, what's going to happen is one of them's going to try to get rid of your energy, and yeah, there's not really much you can do besides try to hit both of them off, because eventually you will just naturally run out of energy. But this is a good strategy to at least get you in the right area. Also, when it comes to walling off ciphers, make sure that you can wall it off in a way that survivors can't decode it. Now again, ciphers, when you wall them off, are going to be covered for about 18 seconds if you can make sure there's no gaps for survivors to code. Like here, survivors can still decode. So what you want to do is make a little formation like this, but there has to be a wall behind the cipher when you use this strategy, or you can just try to draw a wall behind it if there's not already a wall there. Yeah, so do that, and that's going to prevent survivors from decoding at all. That's a trick which Four-Eyed Chicken showed me. He's really good. Check out his videos. I'm going to keep saying this until you do it. But yeah, again, keep in mind you want to make sure that those ciphers are not decoded, because a lot of the time, that extra 18 seconds can mean like the difference between a win or a loss. If you can keep that cipher from popping, you're going to be rocking. Okay, I want that on a t-shirt. That's what I want. So overall, that was mostly supposed to be like a basic overview of what Mad Eyes does with his walls and like his persona and stuff like that. This wasn't supposed to be an in-depth guide and tips and tricks. I'm gonna link below a video to Chicken's beautiful Mad Eyes like guide with like a bunch of like Gucci little tricks to it that aren't just walls. Also, I may release some more like tips and tricks and stuff in the future, but for now, you just gotta know the basics, because sometimes that's just the most important thing to know. You know, people come into this game, and if they don't know how long a wall will last and where like they can put these walls and that they can even like vault over them or some of this basic stuff, then it's gonna be a difficult time for them. So hopefully if you like this video, then you know, maybe you'll like it. That'd be nice. Share it. That'd be nice. I mean, I'm not like telling you to, you know, that'd be nice. Watch another one of my videos. Hey, you know, like that would be nice. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. That would be nice. But you know what? You do you. You are a strong person. Just eat your vegetables and do the best that you can do. Believe in the me that believes in you. That is all.